What is going on YouTube? This is Acidic Roots on Frenchie Talents YouTube pitches like that. So within these fairs, some healthy popcorn pitches like that amongst like the recent Iran war and things that pitches amongst the fray as far as these pitches can happen. So within the fray, as far as saying this is kind of from like a Ren and Stimpy kind of like it's kind of despite the fact of it not really being comedic within these pitches, just some extra type fair kind of within a 2 cents of comedic type pitches and like a kind of like a sappy kind of Ren and Stimpy type format pitch like that. So within settings, the Fair's kind of missed the pitch behind it. The current type fair, so what's been going on is Iran controls like the Strait of Hormuz right now, pitch like that within the oil type rigs and pitch like that. They're going throughout that going throughout that channel and pitch like that, which is 20% of the global oil pitch like that. There's been some cruise ship strikes and pitches like that with possible mines being planted in the ocean as far as fairs on top of that. So it's a pitch as far as saying this, the probably some of these type fairs that miss like the recent type fairs that happened with like a previous Iran leader pitch like that. So within the fair as far as saying it does seem like within these pitches that there's progress of getting towards the end of the war as far as the pitch can happens if you so any type of aspect, it seems kind of within the tone that the Iran situation is kind of politics gone wrong and just issues over homestead kind of policy pitches like that, which is just kind of the fair of what it was in the first place as far as this first game. It's just the particular product of just some of those type fairs amongst it, just being able to say he's having to deal with nuclear deals and this kind of more this misappropriated type ness is within like the product as far as talking about what is kind of wanted for like their global goals and pitch like that. It's within affairs for us and the pitch behind it. One of which the policies that they want to end like the war, which end the current war with what's going on within these pitches is legitimate rights of Tehran, which is the capital of Iran's particular legitimate rights, recognition of their legitimate rights for us as to happen, reparations, fairs like that. Since the pitch, so the aspect, it's definitely the pitch. Legitimate rights do definitely need to happen within the pitch, just like that, and throw in like the nuclear combos as well. But it's kind of the pitch as far as saying that even if like Iran gets their nuclear talks again, it's kind of the product of just saying what's the you get back to those particular conversations as to how they were pitched like that. It's kind of probably just saying what's the point of blowing half the lands up? Some of these pitches kind of amongst it's kind of fair. That's not to say within those products, within those pitches, if that's like the direct role that's going to be played within the commonplace pitch like that, but it's kind of fair as far as the direct kind of just abstract kind of interest within the fairs, like the nuclear type products within the first place, as far as paying attention towards it's kind of fair if it has to do with like legitimate rights within these tones kind of pitch as far as saying what those particular rights have to do with like the pitch as far as just talking about this basically has to do with getting to the bottom of the product of what the nuclear side of things have to do with it within those pitches within the first place. Now, recognized within recognition is just part of like the landscape as far as like the pitch of just being global, this world power kind of recognition and pitches like that was kind of fair as far as just saying within the product as far as the pitch is going to happen that does make you question where the other interest type fair is kind of going along with the pitch like that. It's not to say like that in terms of like those sorts of fairs, but it's this kind of pitch, just paying attention where the product, where what's the next role, you know, hitting like the fast forward button pitches like that. War is over since the pitches. What word is that? Was kind of within the pitches of what's going to happen within those pitches as far as just whether or not it's going to be about wanting to destroy things and then shrug pitches like that. It's not as if it's within the product of some of that, but it's just kind of fair as amongst the pitches like that. But it's kind of fair aspect. But it's kind of within product just saying if 20% of global oil kind of goes through one area within those pitches, the Strait of Hormuz pitch like that, it's within the pitch as far as saying Iran, which may not kind of pitch of like Iran, which kind of questions like its particular type of appeal within like the whether or not it questions like its appeal within the aspect of world power pitches like that. They do have like a large kind of iron fist on like the Strait of Hormuz and like the global channel of like oil runways pitches like that. So it's kind of pitch a question if they have like this large iron fist where gas prices pretty much damn near globally are going up pitch like that for a number of places, it probably makes you question kind of say they don't seem like they're short on money as far as these first games. So it's kind of pitch as far as saying just the product with that kind of being there within the first place as far as those first habits kind of aspect is kind of you start to realize that everyone all of a sudden needs chocolate chips for pies that only it's basically the pitch as far as saying that everyone all of a sudden needs chocolate chips for pies that only come from one area as far as those first games. So all of a sudden, just typical supply and demand chocolate chips are now in demand, and all of a sudden the prices are jacked up with these pitches that it's just not within availability. So it's kind of pitch of just that particular product just it's not really as if the fair kind of within those products paying attention towards it, as if the money aspect probably isn't there. It's probably within those products is this kind of aspect as far as saying, so it doesn't seem like it's about money with some of these type pitches as far as the fair is going to happen. So then if you have to say if it's not about money, then what the hell is all the beehiving about? Kind of about like makes you question if it's not about money, then what the hell is all the beehiving about right now? If Iran and folks don't want to start an arms race, it's kind of fair as far as saying if it's not about money, and they don't want to start an arms race, kind of makes you question, well, where, if they didn't want to start an arms race in the first place, kind of makes you question where, like, the war and these particular things, all the commotion, the beehiving, the pitches like that have been kind of going on. Where does that particularly stem from with some of these pitches? Kind of random, random and extravagant nonsense pitches like that, to say the least, with some of those type products. The folks thinking of like the folks that in the United States that passed on pitches like that since affairs the Iranian leaders and the folks just living in those areas, pitch like that. It's the look after pitch like that was kind of like, do you want? You have to question some of these type folks pitch like that, what the variety amongst some of these type aspects for like the interest type factor would kind of be. Basically, do you want funds to set up like a comedy schools pitches like that, kind of get some entertainment factors of it going, some of the pitches, or possibly like a Playboy Middle East type mansion pitch like that? Do we need to fuck around and send out like some Playboy type business type fair, get some of those type fairs out there, some of those type pitches, kind of get one of those type palaces going? I feel like within the economy, it just feels like the interest, like it just makes you question the fear of what the nuclear type territories have to do with those sorts of things. When this the product, as far as saying, there's probably folks in robes right now at Playboy Mansion being like, "What the hell are you talking about?" As far as this bitch happens, some of those type fairs, they need like some sort of comedian that could point this out. I'd question the comedians what they're particularly thinking about in Iran pitch like that. Some stuff folks in those pitches, why they're not coming over here and just making hella jokes about it. It's just kind of pitch as far as saying, but yeah, basically kind of surprised that Hugh Hef never thought to do that in the first place. Kind of have like a kind of have like some Middle Eastern kind of Playboy matches. Maybe they possibly have pitches like that, but seemingly you don't hear about them. Some of the fairs, probably someone out there could make millions. Some of these type pitches, just some of those type fairs amongst it was just kind of fair as far as saying. This makes you question if folks are kind of bored right now. Some of the pitches kind of probably just extracurricular type fair, just not spending like that the appropriate kind of accurate type time with some of these type tangents amongst these phrases as far as talking about within these pitches, just being able to say the fairness of what's particularly going on right now with some of these type phrases amidst like the politics of the goings on, feel like at least to say like a waste of time pitch like that. And that's not to say in terms like the actual serious nature. Once again, this dealing with like being the comedic type format within pitch like that, but it's just kind of fair as far as saying you pay attention to the product that there's folks probably popping champagne right now pitch like that, but it's just kind of phrase as far as saying